Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. Today we have a non-superhero related review. Today we're going to be talking about Season 11 of American Horror Story, New York City. But before we get started, make sure you hit that subscribe button so we can keep growing towards 250 subscribers. Now, let's chat about American Horror Story. This show is obviously long running. I just said it's the 11th season. But most shows that get to this age, they start off and then they go down real fast. This show has kind of been started off high and then has been all over the place since. For me personally, I still love that first season, Murder House, the best, and then Coven's up there. 1984 was really freaking good. I thought last year's installment was really good until it switched the storyline, and that's kind of a running theme for the last few seasons of American Horror Story, where I've thought the first, 6 or 7 episodes were really good, and then they do this big twist, and it doesn't work after that. And that's kind of how I felt about the last few seasons, but this season, there was really no marketing. People weren't sure if we were getting a season this year, and then, they filmed it, they dropped a teaser beginning of October, and the first episode was out shortly after that, so it was like boom, boom, boom. So I was like, this feels a little rushed just to have a season this year. I don't know how good this is gonna be, but I'm proud to say that I love it. This honestly might be my favorite season of American Horror Story since that first one. It's so damn good. There's maybe because most of this season feels like a real horror story. There's things they're tackling in this season, like the AIDS epidemic. Of course, it's set in the 80s in New York City, so that's obviously on the rise, predominantly in gay men, and that's kind of what this season's about. Gay men are people, in the LGBTQ plus community not being safe, and that's kind of the running theme, and I very much enjoyed that. This season is led by Joe Mantello playing Gino Borelli, who is, I've never seen this guy in anything before. Apparently he's in some other Ryan Murphy shows, but I've never seen him before. He is excellent. I love Gino Borelli. He's one of my favorite characters on TV this year. He's so damn good, and I hope Joe becomes like a mainstay in American Horror Story going forward, because I don't know how many seasons it has left, but it needs new blood, and Joe Mantello is excellent. He's got this swagger about him. He's so cool, and I thought he was great. I thought he was a great leading man for this season, but he is, new to the American Horror Story franchise. We do get some familiar faces, though, this year. We do get Billie Lourd coming back. She's been in the past few seasons, of course, the daughter of the late, great Carrie Fisher. She has more of a supporting role this time around. We also get to see Charlie Carver come into this. Apparently, he wrote and produced this season, so that's really cool, and I thought he crushed it playing Adam this season. I've been a big fan of his ever since Teen Wolf, a show that I thought was very underrated, 5 to 8 years ago on MTV. I've enjoyed his work since then. He showed up earlier this year in The Batman, and again, he's in other Ryan Murphy stuff, so maybe he will be a future collaborator in future American Horror Story seasons. We get some Dennis O'Hare this season. I thought he was great. He comes and goes. He's like a red herring, a mysterious presence throughout the season, and I thought he was great in the role that was given. They kind of leave his fate open-ended, though. They don't really explain what happened to him. You get some ideas, but they never really explain what happened to him. And we get some other new faces and some other old faces throughout the season as well. The first, 7 episodes are more about this serial killer that's going around killing people, gay men specifically, in New York City. And Gino and Adam and eventually Patrick and the rest of the crew try to, figure out who's doing this. But while this other thing is in the background, kind of boiling up under the surface, that Billie Lourd's character Hannah is investigating to do with deer and ticks, and there's some weird stuff going on, like bodies are being found that aren't connected to the serial killer stuff. And then once they wrap up the serial killer stuff, that stuff boils over, and it is revealed, of course, that it is the AIDS epidemic that we're dealing with here, and that becomes like the villain, the horror creature of the rest of this show. It's just not safe. You're either getting got by the serial killer or the AIDS epidemic. And just it's crazy how good this season was. Zachary Quinto came back. I never thought I'd see him come back. I truly lost hope about him coming back. He hasn't been around since season 2 of American Horror Story. Big Quinto fan here, of course. He's a good Pittsburgh boy, so I'm a big Quinto fan. Loved him on his last show, Nosferatu. I think he's great, so I'm glad he came back. Hopefully he comes back more. And I kind of liked that we didn't get like a Sarah Paulson or an Evan Peters this season. Like, give them a break. Give them a break and let these new, more fresh faces more or less come in and kind of give the American Horror Story franchise a good life resuscitating pump to the chest, because American Horror Stories last year I loved it. This year it was middling at best. It felt like they just did it because they were obligated to do a second season. And I was curious if this was going to be the same, because like I said, it felt very rushed, but I loved this season. I thought it was great. I thought it was scary, both the serial killer, more mythical, spiritual elements, and the real world stuff with the AIDS epidemic. I thought everything was great. I thought the performances were fantastic, especially from my man, Joe Mantello. I thought he was incredible, and I hope he does more stuff, because he has leading man energy. Like, he's awesome. He's got this cool dude swagger, just fantastic actor, and I hope he probably won't, because those award shows, totally dismiss horror most of the time, but I would totally love to see him be up for an Emmy next year, because he crushed it. I thought he was great, and I hope to see more of these faces in future American Horror Story installments. But I'm going to give this season, I'm going to give it a 9 out of 10. A couple loose threads needed tied up that weren't, but overall, I love this season. Let me know what you guys thought. Did you love the season? Am I overhyping it? Let's chat down in the comments below. Make sure you subscribe. Thank you all for watching. I'll see you guys right here next time.